Hiya. Um, One thing I always get asked, and it's advice, advice for you guys for your journeys. I never know how to answer it other than learn, learn from learn from your journey. Every journey is different. And when I was talking to my surgeon, because I'm one of those people, I like to know as much as humanly possible from what I'm about to go into, but also I'm also one of those people. I learn really hands on. So when you got someone preaching at me constantly, I end up switching off. And one thing, people used to say it to me, and it drove me crazy. It drove me absolutely crazy. Yeah, your surgery is just a tool. It's just a tool, and you sit there and you think like, shut up. How can it be a tool? You know, you're ripping your stomach out. You know, it's going to be a lifesaver, and honestly, those words are so true. Um, it is just a tool, and it's something you have to use and learn to use effectively. Um, like a tool, you know, whether it's a ratchet, a screwdriver, or whatever, a doodah, or what's it, you have to use it in a particular way for whatever it's needed. There's no point taking a drill when you need to sand wood. Although it would be fun, I'm not going to lie, but me. And I suppose the only thing really, so first off, is your portion control. In the beginning, we all do it. Um, you could be starving hungry. Well, you're not. To be fair, you're not hungry in the beginning. It's not until about 6, 7, 8, 9, possibly a year actually. Yeah, but between 8 months and a year was when I first felt hunger. About that. Um, but you're doing your portion control, and you put in like spoonfuls, and I mean tiny portions on this plate, and it looks like a pea on a big plate. Do you know what I mean? It's just got so much surface area left of the plate because you're eating 2 or 3 teaspoons, and even that's a push at times. Now I've always said, I used to eat 1 meal a day, so mentally eating 6, 7, 8 times a day was the hardest thing I felt. Pushing myself because I knew I had to eat. I still needed the calories. Your body needs calories. Don't think, when you're losing the weight and it's burning fat, that's great because it's got the excessive calories it needs. Um, sorry, 1 second. When you're coming to a point where your body fat is diminished and it suddenly hits you like a lead balloon, like, God, I feel rough. It did for me anyway. I was standing up and seeing bright lights, and you really dazed, and you kind of standing up, and I kept that. I was having to hold on to a door frame because I honestly felt like I was gonna just go backwards. And not that that's a negative or anything like that. That's not anything silly. Some people get it, some people don't. I was one of those people. Like I said to you, I used to eat 1 meal a day. So to then go to several, I said from day one of my surgeon that that's going to be the bit I will find hard. Um, and I was concerned at that. They thought I was like literally joking. They thought, oh, fat person eats 10 times a day. No, I was. Yes, I was fat. Don't be wrong. I was ginormous. Wrong meals, wrong time, wrong quantity, medication, lack of mobility. Mine was just more than one aspect, which most people are. A lot of people look at big people and go, "Oh, you're just fat. That's it. You just stuff your face all day long." Not the case. Um, so yeah, really, learn, learn, just learn. There's no point me sitting here saying, I see people like, well, I'm preparing my freezer. Why? I honestly sit there and like, why? Because in all fairness, you in 6 months, honestly, every time you cook or you eat, um, 4 or 5 teaspoons. I mean, if you're eating that, you're lucky. Um, Possibly 10. You know, if you're a real hungry day, I don't know. You know, or you've eaten a bit too quickly or something. You know, even that's. I'm just trying to remember. It was just minuscule, minuscule. So having food in your freezer as a big person, you're trying to portion it out. Honestly, when you're portioning it out as a normal eating person who's not on a liquid diet, who's not increasing their portion control, who's not on the fork diet, the mashable diet, you know, all these things, you look at food in the first 12 weeks like, no. You, sorry, the dog now wants to come in. Come on in. Up. Quick. Um, you just don't. Well, I never. That you know, whether other people are different, maybe so. Maybe you find comfort in food, but they're things you need to control. So again, learn by your ways and what you need to do to conquer that. One thing I can say though, if you are one of the people I talk to many people who come out of surgery and just want to eat. Now, are you hungry or is it comfort eating? Have you drunk enough? You know, all these kind of things. And again, be very careful. I speak to several people who come out of surgery and wake up from surgery very, very thirsty, who have guzzled down litres of whatever they can get their hands on. And I sit there and I think, how do you even find capacity in your stomach? You know, you're told 10 meals weeks up to 200 meals. Now, I'll be honest, when you're fresh out of surgery, you tell me what 10 meals feels like in your mouth. I bet none of you can, not even I could. It wasn't until in the end, because although I took a mouthful, I was swallowing tiny little sweets because I was so frightened. Um, if you find a discomfort because you think you're swallowing too much, use a syringe to begin with. Learn what 10 meals feels like in your mouth. You know, if you can't handle 200 mils, go less. You don't have to drink 200 mils. But, I've spoken to so many people who guzzled litres down their throat. Why? Yeah, I'm not saying it reverses the surgery because it probably doesn't, but it can cause harm, a lot of harm. It's silly mistakes that people make, and myself included. You talk about dumping syndrome, and you don't quite realise how painful it is. Oh God. No, thank you very much. I've had it twice. Never again. Um, Cooking habits. Um, Fresh, homemade. Learn to cook. If you can't cook, learn now. Before you go into surgery, just teach yourself a few things. Low salt, low sodium, go through all that stuff. Learn about reductions. You don't have to thicken things with flour. You don't have to have stodgy, starchy foods. Although they are very lovely and they're nice, and I'm not going to deny it. And I am the first to admit I am one of those people. Fresh bread, pastries, cheese sauces, and oh God, I'm dribbling as I talk about it. It's hard. It is very hard, but you are making a life decision. This isn't a 10-minute solution. This is stuff that more than likely for the rest of your life is going to affect you for the rest of your life. You're going to have to be careful. Um, Drinking. I said about drinking a minute ago, but you talk to people who drink before meals, after meals, because they think it's going to reduce their portion control. Your surgeon, who knows more than me, more than more than anybody else on the bariatric sites, will tell you no drinking. I think very early on it's like 20 minutes to half an hour before meals and after meals. And somewhere along the line, I was told 15 to 20 minutes. Time it. For God's sake, time it. We've all got smartphones. You talk to your Google phone now or whatever and set a timer for 20 minutes. There's no excuse. I mean, Damien, we all do it every now and again. We get caught short or you're choking or something, fine. But if I've been caught short, um, I'll put the food down or the drink or whatever it is I've been caught short and I'll stop. I'll give myself 10, 15 minutes breather. If, I don't know, say for example, naturally, I'm now 2 years out. I'm sat there, there's a drink next to me, old habits creep in, and I've been caught short. I've noticed myself, I've had a drink and I'm like, okay, so I put the drink down. If I can't spit the drink out and I'm not already kind of, it's at the back of my throat and without, I don't know, hanging upside down, um, have a breather. Just put it down. That's my honest advice, something I do. Cold. I've written down cold here. That's a massive one. Now, depending on how big you start this journey, where you are, what you're doing. Now, don't forget, I was 45 stone. So to go from 45 to 12 in just over a year, um, I worked hard at everything I done. I really, really ploughed everything into it, and there was no stopping. I wasn't going to turn back, and there was nothing that's ever going to make me go back that way. That's a lot of weight to shed. 33 stone in just over a year. Again, that's my drasticality of it. But other people, whether it's 4, 6, 8, 10 stone, whatever. I think the first year, 18 months, 2 years, I still feel the cold now. Oh God, the cold is horrible. Hopefully I acclimatise one day. You never know. But I talk to people who have had the surgery longer than I, who still struggle with the cold after being big most of their life. I used to be called a shade chaser. Everyone would say to me, "Oh, summer's coming." I'd be like, "Oh no, all I do through summer is sweat, and I'm grouchy all the time anyway." But I hate summer. I used to hate summer. This year has been the first summer where I think I've actually sat out in the sun. Typical English person will complain about the rain, but I love the rain. I do genuinely love the rain. I love the noise it makes. I love how I just love the rain. Not that it makes me dark and gloomy, but I am dark. I'm not gloomy. I just like rain. Um, I've got my point. Cold, rain. Where was I going? Oh, shade, yeah. So, first time really I've sat out in the summer. First time I've sat out in the sun. Dog, I could kill you. Well, if you're. Oh God, now I've completely lost where I was going. Rain. I used to love. Yeah, so love the rain. Summer, shade chaser. Oh my God. Now I run from the. Well, I don't run, but it starts to rain, and I'm no, oh no, thank you very much. Whereas back in the day, I'd stand out in it and be like, oh, thank God. Um, for me, I do wear thermals. I wear a lot of layers. Bloody dog. Yes, Chezzy. No, it's gone. So yeah, I mean, literally brace yourself. You are gonna feel the cold, and it's back again. So when I say to you, it makes my hands. Okay, I've got a lot of nerve damage as well, so there is that kind of one helps the other, if you know what I mean. When I get cold, my hands, not that I've got arthritis, but my hands literally, because I'm so cold. Yeah, go kill him. Up there, up, up. Go on, shoe, horse. But sorry. Yeah, so you are going to feel elements of the cold where just at times it is so. And again, I don't want to put people off because that's not my intention, but be truthful at the same point. You know, it is anyone having the surgery the first year, or anyone I've spoken to the first year. Some people go on to lead normal lives and. Sorry, every time I come on camera, I seem to yawn. Some people do fine and they acclimatise and they carry on, and some people don't feel it at all. I suppose I'm trying to take some. I'm going to kill this dog. Yes, Chezzy. What is the matter? What is it? Come on. Go on in. Out. Go lay down. Go on in. What is it? So yeah, wrap up really. Snacks. Really. So I've written a list down. Snacks. Find alternative snacks now. But again, I say that, and again, my next point is listen to medical advice. Dietitians, surgeons, nurses, doctors. Your taste buds are going to change, and I truly mean. This dog could kill him. I say find alternative. Do you know what? If you're going to find alternative snacks prior to going into surgery, I mean, I can't even say if you don't like them. If you like them now, you like them because it's your taste buds do a 180, and it's try them, see if you like them. I wouldn't buy them. I would keep to. For me, I kept to homemade stuff. I know what's in it. I know I can count everything. Not that I'm a massive counter because I'm not. I just in the beginning I was. Oh dear me, I'm so sorry. I keep yawning on camera, and I don't know why. But listen to when you're talking to your dietitian, they will literally, well, it should tell you that your taste buds will go through so many changes because of the surgery, and you'll find you'll like foods you never liked before, and all of a sudden foods you absolutely loved, you can no longer stomach. Oh, it is true. It is. It's not just a thing. It's true. I would never eat baked beans. I've never been one for it. Now I can't get enough of them. I eat about a tin a day. Yeah, every day without fail. I have a tin of beans. That's one example. Out of everything I can think of, that's been a major one for me. Fluids, keep your fluids up. If you're not getting enough fluids, your body can't expel fat. Although you've had the surgery, it's not guaranteed. People think it's a guaranteed procedure and it guarantees you to lose weight and it guarantees you to stay off. No, it doesn't. It is one of the biggest loads of crap. And when you hear people, oh, my surgery failed and the surgeons didn't know what they were talking about, but I've never had dumping syndrome, but my heart races. That is part of dumping syndrome. People and dumping syndrome suffer in different ways. Until you actually go through it, you don't know what your element of dumping syndrome is. Although you get the same symptoms. Oh God. I'm so sorry. A lot of symptoms are the same as with anything. Um, One thing I noticed with me, obviously, salivating mouth, racing heart, and sometimes excruciating pain. And again, the twice that I've had dumping syndrome, once I was rushed to hospital, and it ended up being because of spices, and I ended up being backed right up, and that was an experience. um, but again, from that, learn what's different for you from others. One thing with social media, yeah, it's great. We can all listen to one another and learn from one another, but until you're going through it yourself, you don't know what reaction your body is going to have. So when it comes to snacks, you might think it's great as a non-bariatric, post-bariatric surgery. Your body might react so differently to them, so differently. And again, are you looking at the certain contents of fat and sugar and all that kind of stuff? And again, I don't count anything um, other than protein. I couldn't tell you how many calories I have in a day. Couldn't tell you at all. I wouldn't even like to guess because it would probably make me not freak out, make me panic a bit. But again, I know I'm doing well. I know I'm staying healthy. Um, I'm very muscular. I'm doing well. So calories or not, learn what's right for you and your body and your post bariatric surgery. Not me, not anyone else, for you. Your stomach is going to tell you whether it likes it or not, and whether it's going to accept it. And if it don't, it ain't. So don't. Because I tell you, when you go through dumping syndrome, you won't want to go through it again. And anybody that pushes their body to a point where they want chocolate cake and crisps and experience dumping syndrome every day of their life, I mean, fair play to them, because no, thank you. That's painful. And it's very, very painful when you're going through it and you're sweating because your body don't know what to do. And until you get it out, and I literally mean until your body expels it in a violent manner, and it ain't pretty, and it smells like death, is the only way I can put it to you. It's yeah, it ain't all that. To be honest, dumping syndrome, people think, oh great, I'm losing weight, even more weight. No, it don't work like that. Just listen to the medical advice. I always say that. I mean, before in England, before having the surgery, you have to go through a series of education, whether it's 6 weeks, 6 months, or I don't know, 6 appointments or whatever. You have to be made aware of certain things and do's and don'ts and what ifs and hows and wheres and what, all that kind of stuff. Really listen, because it's quite in depth and it is what you need to know. Um, Fluids, to keep fluids up. Like I said a minute ago, if you're not keeping your fluids up, your body's not hydrated. Your body not if it's not hydrated, it's not expelling the fat. It's not staying at certain levels, and around and around and around and around it goes. Protein, when you come out, it was 65 grams of protein. I'm sure it's 65 or 60. I don't think it's 69. I'm sure it's 65. But it might be 60 for a girl. 65. I don't know. I can't remember. It's 2 years ago. I barely remembered what happened yesterday. So, protein. And the amount of videos I've done on protein. If you are not keeping up your protein levels, your body is not going to let you lose weight. And it's not going to let you maintain at a healthy level. It's not going to. Just protein is the building blocks of life, and water. Do you know what I mean? For a bariatric patient, it is so important. Just keep up your protein. Keep a little track of it. But I mean, I don't anymore because I know my breakfast, my lunch, and I have the same breakfast. I have the same lunch. My dinner is the only thing that's different. I like that for me. It's repetition. I know I haven't got a count. I like poached egg on toast. I've always loved poached egg on toast, and now I have it with a tin of bleeding beans. That's amazing for me. The surgical team told me to incorporate more fat because I got too skinny. Really nice words to hear, by the way. Um, but again, I listened. I was standing up and almost passing out because it was just I had nothing left. My body was running on empty. Um, so I had to incorporate fats, and I was fine with that. Philadelphia, I can't bear butter, so Philadelphia and cheese. I could up my cheese content. I was so happy with that. I love cheese. Other than that, your is it antibiotics then? For God's sake, vitamins. Keep up with your vitamins. Make sure you take them every day. You know, you are classed as a malnourished person if you don't take them. You know, your body will just break down so quickly without them. They're there as your life source because you can't take in the calories and the vitamins you need through eating. And again, my advice to you, if you can shift your change, you're not eating for enjoyment. This is what I've had to do and it's really worked for me. I'm not eating for enjoyment. I'm now eating as survival. And I get so, whether you understand that or not, and I hope I do make sense out of it, um, you'll understand it post surgery. I don't eat anymore. Oh yeah, I'm really excited for food and I can't wait to sit down and eat my dinner. Even when I sit down and eat dinner, unless I've had a real hectic day or a lot's going on and I'm shaking from hunger because I've missed a snack or something, that's when I'm like, oh, I need to eat. Other than that, I hate, hate thinking about food. And it's not a negative thing or anything like that, because I don't get from it what I used to. I'm just eating because I know I need to eat and I need to keep the calories up and to keep me as a human going. I'm not eating for enjoy. Everything I cook, I always make tasty, and I enjoy eating it. But I'm not like, oh, I must eat. I want to eat chocolate because it tastes nice, or do you know what I mean? Oh, I fancy that. That's my favourite because that's my thought process has always been very different to other people's. And when I do something, I'm all or nothing. Go big or go home, and that is the other way as well. If like I said, wrong thing, wrong time. I'd sit down and honestly, my friends can contest to this. I would order an 18-inch pizza with extra cheese, and the pizza shop would know me because I paid extra cheese, and I want this. I wanted cheese. I wanted the pizza to be mounded up with every piece of cheese in the place. And if it weren't dripping, I'd send it back. You know me. Um, I'm not proud of that now. I look back at that and I think, oh, for God's sake, it makes me like, ooh. But me and cheese, we have this relationship, and I love pizza. And again, wrong thing, wrong time. I was just taking that enjoyment and more survival thinking. Not survival out in the jungle survival, but it's hard to explain. I don't eat like a. I don't know. It is hard to explain. Until you go through it, you'll understand it. Um, I enjoy eating and I enjoy the food that I cook and I enjoy, you know, it's hard to explain. You'll understand it when you go through it and you'll get it. Well, I hope you do anyway. Other than that, like I keep saying, learn. In every single situation, this bariatric process, anything it throws at you, learn from it. And I'm not trying to preach or be like the goody two shoes in the corner because I'm far from a goody two shoes. I'm always the one in trouble, always. But in this situation, I knew I had to throw my life at it. I knew it. I was 45 stone. There was no getting away from that. Everything that comes up, learn from it. Ask the questions. Speak to your dietitians, your surgical team, your doctors, your nurses, whomever. Whoever you've been in contact with is your point of call. Phone them. They're paid for a job. Ask them questions. Even myself, I've had to constantly the whole way through. You don't know if you're going right or wrong. And one thing my surgeon said to me, he said, other than the basics, I can't tell you, Jack. Bariatric surgery is not a process where it's one size fits all. What's okay for you might not be for them. There is an element, and again, because of you're having to learn to control urges and bits and pieces, you have to learn so much. It's like a whole different world, and you have to learn that. So if you can fight it yourself and go through it yourself and do's and don'ts and learns and the basics before going into surgery, post surgery, it'll be a lot easier for you. But I mean, I went into surgery skipping. I was so excited. Um, I waited since I was 16 years old. I've wanted the surgery. I've always been big. Um, and it was now or never. And I knew that. I don't hide from that. I don't hide from any of my mistakes in life, anything I've done, or my hands up to it all. Have fun, enjoy it, And the only other thing I would say to you is stay active as you can. Whether that's you, I mean, I didn't exercise for the first 6 months. I do have a lot of physical issues, a lot of nerve damage. I've got back issues. I knew I had to lose a substantial amount of weight. Be sensible, have realistic goals. Don't go into this like I'm going to lose 10 stone in a month, because that's just not realistic. You're going to get to that goal, that end of the month, and you're going to feel awful about yourself. Oh, it's a failure. I've done it all wrong, and then in come the negatives. It is a process. It is something you keep working at it, and you're doing it right. You're chewing your food 20 times. You've not drunk for 20 minutes before or after. Trust the process and just learn from it. Learn to cook. Start cooking at home. Get your family involved in cooking. Kids, grandkids, whomever, partner. Start cooking fresh, wholesome, good food. You do that, you've got no bulking agents in your stomach. You're not going to feel bloated and uncomfortable. You're going to be able to eat a proper meal, meat and veg. What your body needs as best as possible. And when it comes to, say, like me cooking, everything I do, and I sweat vegetables in it now. And whether that makes a base or whatever, um, is at least put in vegetables as much as I can per each dish. Find out about what certain vegetables make to dishes. You're adding carrots, you're adding the sweetness. You've got tomatoes, there's bitter. Stuff like that. You can change a whole dish by adding one or two vegetables. It doesn't have to be. But people go, "Oh, vegetables are bland." Then they don't know anything. That's just because they don't want to eat the vegetables. That's fine. If you want to rely on vitamins and mineral tablets, that's absolutely fine. Myself, we have to take them for the rest of our lives. But there's a lot in this process what people don't realise has to go into the process. It's not just a walk in the park. And anybody that thinks that, anybody at all, really needs to go back and go over their homework, because it is not. There's a lot that go. Although it becomes second nature and it does become a walk in the park. One of the hardest points is coming out of surgery and having to relearn do's and don'ts and human behaviour, because I inhale food. Always have done. Even now, 2 years out, I have had to slow down, Jack. I've gone back to chewing 3, 4 times and swallowing it. So I'm having to hold on, and I'm having to almost regurgitate food and continue chewing, because old habits. You're watching TV, so you suddenly okay, just try to. Although it's there for background noise, sit up, do the right thing. Something I have to do as well is remove a belt. If I'm wearing a belt, is remove a belt, because it feels like the food gets stuck. Um, Have fun. Honestly, have fun. Learn the new you and love it. And fuck what people say. People say you take one thing you will hear from, and you'll hear it at least once or twice, and I hope you don't. You cheated. You took the easy way out. Do you know what? If that's their opinion, fine. But I tell you what, they ever know what the easy way is, because having bariatric surgery is not the easy way. It is the last resort, and it is a resort people come to because they're so sick and tired of being big, and being disabled, or being having health issues because of being big. It's not just that. Um, but yeah, I waffled on for nearly 40 minutes, so I am sorry. But have fun. Enjoy it, love it, own it, destroy it. Honest to God, absolutely destroy it. I've loved every minute of my surgery, every minute. It's been a grueling year for me, and it has tried me in ways where, honestly, if it had been before my surgery, I'd have been like, you know what, fuck it. Sorry. Um, I'd have been like, fuck it. Or just go eat, go do something, go something. I say unhealthy. That's the word I'm going to use. I would have done pizza, kebab, Chinese, whatever. I just would have done. But I know I had to protect it. But in the meantime, I've continued pushing past everything. I've not. I've allowed myself to feel everything, and I've allowed myself to just learn from it. Again, I've always been a strong person. I've always been a person. I don't do poor me. Um, but at the same point, I never thought I'd lose my sister. And as silly as that may sound, because of the lifestyle she led, she's always been indestructible. Um, so if that wasn't going to take me down, nothing was. And the last couple of weeks have really shown, well, not the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, I've productively, healthily pushed through the best way I can. Life is going to throw some curveballs at you, especially what, especially having bariatric surgery. There are times you are going to want to stuff your face and do whatever. Learn to control it. And I'm not saying don't eat pizza, or don't have an alcoholic beverage, or don't whatever. Learn ways where you can do it in a controlled way. That you can enjoy it, drink a tipple, or whatever. But I forewarn you, brace yourself. Because when you first have a drink, I mean, I won't lie to you, the first drink I had, I was KO'd on the sofa for 5 hours. I had, I think, one drink. I was KO'd. I used to drink 2 bottles of vodka going out clubbing, and I'd still be standing because I dropped vodka was my drink, and that was it. And I'd still be fine, absolutely fine. I'd be merry, but I'd be fine. Um, I had one vodka. God, I had to shake. When you've I don't know, next morning you woke up and you were shaking. I had a 5 hour nap because I physically could not stand up, and I was shaking like I didn't feel hungover, but I was shaking. Stuff like that. You are gonna feel all these weird things. That honestly, it's learn from it. And go sensible. Just be sensible. Enjoy it. Have fun. Learn life. You've if you've gone down the bariatric surgery process, it's for a reason. Don't forget those reasons. Keep them near and dear. For me, I do have my trousers. I have my top. Although I don't look at them every single day of my life, but they're nice to look at and go, do you know what? I did that. And I love showing them. I'm not showing them off because I don't. I hate showing them off, but I love to see them, and just when people see them and think, do they make clothes that big? Rent a tent, mate. You got to make your own. Um, but yeah, have fun. Enjoy it. Anyway, that's me ranting at you. I wanted to make it a 10-minute video, but I don't have the ability to make these 2-minute videos. I wish I did. I just don't. I love to talk. So I'm sorry about that. Anybody watching, thank you so much. See you later.